Good morning. My name is Jennifer Ryan, one of the board members of the Alliance of Women in Workers' Compensation. On behalf of the AWWC, I want to welcome you to today's webinar. The topic, Finding Your Power with Natalie Fikes, will last approximately 1 hour and is a live interactive webinar being broadcasted today, Thursday, May 7th, 2020. Before we get started, I would like to thank our 2020 corporate sponsors for their support on hosting events such as this. They support us not because they want their logos up on a screen, but they support the cause, which is to affect positive change in the workers' compensation industry through networking, support, mentoring, and collaboration. The Alliance is inclusive of all professionals in workers' compensation, regardless of career stage, with the belief that we can all learn from and support each other. Today, we will be joining Natalie Fikes, life coach and career consultant, along with myself and Amy Weiss, the AWWC Marketing Committee Chair, in our living rooms as we explore the importance of offering real connections and emotional intelligence to the workforce both now and as the world reopens. How do you know when you have real connections with people? What would you say or do if you had the confidence? What are you doing when you're most yourself? Natalie has developed a system that helps people who struggle to achieve both personal and professional success clearly define their purpose so they can live the life they want. She combines her gift of entertainment with proven principles for achievement to transform audiences worldwide. Natalie is the creator of Activate Your Purpose System, GPS, and #1 best-selling author of Empower to Prosper. Discover the woman you were created to be. She is named one of the best speakers of today, Orator of the Year, one of John Maxwell's top 100 leaders. She is passionate about developing youth and bringing hope and resources to homeless, sex-trafficked, and incarcerated women. During this webinar, we invite each of you to open up your chat box inside the Zoom webinar to live chat with Natalie, myself, and Amy. Amy and I will be monitoring all questions and comments to provide over to Natalie as we focus on the topics today that most interest each of you. Thank you for your time you're spending with us today, and we hope you enjoy this webinar.
Hello, everybody. Well, we all want to live a life where we are confident in our abilities, connected to the people and things that we love, and have the courage to stand for what we believe in. But most people struggle to find their power. You know what that is? It's your inner winner that knows who you truly are, what sets your soul on fire, and what you will relentlessly do to pursue your dreams. Instead, we settle, listening to everyone and everything telling you, if you follow this path, or if you get in with these people, you'll get what you need. Or all you have to do is get a nice house, a nice car, and go on great vacations. But then you're still unhappy. You've done everything that you've been told, but you're still unhappy. The pathway to success is here if you do this, but you're still unhappy. You wake up every day feeling like something is missing and that you should be doing more. But what is it? How do you find your personal power so that you can stop settling and start living? I watched The Wizard of Oz as a child and as an adult, especially in this current quarantine. I watched it a few times. And it seemed to be a story of success where you start off great and then something happens and you go through what you need to go through to get to where you want. But I found that it's a different story. It's a story of intention, collaboration, and finding your personal power. So if you're familiar with the story, Dorothy ends up being transported from Kansas to this world, right? I say it's like going from high school to corporate America. It's crazy. What is this? Who are these munchkins? And all she wants to do is to get back home. And what she ends up doing is she has to connect with, first, someone who has the same values, the purpose, wants the same thing. They want something too. But the first thing she runs into is someone who wanted a brain. If I only had a brain. And he has these crows around him saying, you can't win, you can't break even, and you can't get out of the game. And because of that, he's stuck. He doesn't know what to do. He has no confidence. So she helps him get off and says, well, I'm on a mission too. I have an intention, so why don't you come with me and we'll figure it out together. And then they run into another person who wishes that they had heart. They wish that they were connected to the things that they love, that he wished he could feel. He wished that he had passion and he knew exactly who he was supposed to be connected to and what he was supposed to be doing. And so they said, you know what? We have an intention. Won't you come with us? And we'll get you there too. And then finally, they ran into someone who lacked courage. He had the title, the stature, had everything that would make him the king of the jungle. But he didn't have the courage because he didn't know what his personal power was. And so they said, come on, we have an intention. Come with us and we'll get you there. And so they get to where they've been told is the answer to fulfilling their deepest desires. The wizard. The wizard. Only to find out the wizard is like John over in Cubicle 3, who's trying to get his life together too. Are you kidding me? Do you know what I went through to get to you? You, John. So what did they have to do? They had to forge together to fight through their deficiencies. They had to face their fears. They had to muster the plan to be able to defeat the enemy. They had to muster the heart to care enough about one another and the other people that were being affected. And they had to have the courage to do what no one else would do, which is to pour water on the witch. But that still didn't get Dorothy what she wanted. So the question is, how do you find your personal power? And that's what we're going to be discussing today. So I'm so happy to have you here. And I'm going to bring my girls, Jennifer and Amy, on. And we are going to talk about how to find our personal power. And the first question as they come onto the screen that I want to ask is, what would you say or do if you had the confidence? So Jennifer and Amy, join me on the screen.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning. So the question is, what would you do if you had the confidence? You know, going on a journey to greatness, doing it by yourself seems impossible, right? So let's first start off with, what would you do if you had the confidence?
All right, guys, time for you guys to get in the chat down below. Go ahead and type your answers, and Amy and I will go ahead and read them off.
And most people think that it's something big. Some people think it's something big. It could be as simple as starting a business, going on a trip by yourself. Yeah, I see those. It could be standing up and doing karaoke. It could be anything. It could be switching brands. You know, the whole family's been using the same brand our whole life, but I went over to Natalie's house and I tasted a different brand, and I think I might want to switch. It's anything, right? So what other comments are we getting?
Right. Joyce likes to write poetry, but has never had the confidence to recite her work in public. So I think that would be a great one. What do we see?
We have Christy said, standing up for myself and not letting people take advantage of me.
Lisa said, starting a company was terrifying and the most rewarding experience of her life. How would you encourage more women to break out of their fear and start their own venture?
So the first thing that we need to understand as it relates to confidence is that the answer is always inside of you. It's always there. If it wasn't, you wouldn't have the desire to do it. I want you to hear that. You would not have the desire to do it if the ability wasn't always there. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to get up to the microphone and it's just going to be amazing. We all have a tree inside of us, but it starts in seed form. It starts in seed form. But how you activate that seed is by having the courage and the confidence to do it. And you know what? Confidence doesn't even come in the beginning. It comes when you do it the first time, and it's like, oh my God, I did it. Oh my God, I did it. Right? And then, and you're like, oh my God, I did it. And then you do it again, and then you're like, oh my God. And then sooner or later, you got your thing going, and then you know that person, they have the mic, and it's like, well, you know, all right. And then now it's like, all right, thank you. Thank you. Give me the mic. That's how it happens. So you have to go with that feeling inside of you. It's your inner winner that already knows that you're destined to do it. You have to respond and react to that thing and just do it. Literally, just do it. Not knowing every tit and tattle, every dot. You don't need to know all of that. You need to know that this is a real thing going on inside of you, and you need to activate it. It's kicking. It's like, whoo, whoo. And no matter what you're doing, it's like, oh, you're sitting nice and quiet, but inside of you, it's a beat. It's something going on. It won't let you rest. And for those people that responded, I can promise you that you sit down, you started, you tried to write that book, you tried to do something, and you're like, oh, no, and you walk away from it. And then you go about doing what you're doing, and then something happens where you're like, okay, this is the time, I'm gonna do it again. It'll never leave you. It's never going to leave you. Do you guys agree?
Yep. I think that's great.
feedback. I think for me, I was scared of skydiving. I did it the first time and kept my eyes closed the whole time. The second time, I kept them open the whole time going down. It was the most invigorating, alive thing I'd ever done because I faced my fears with the confidence, and that made me realize I could do anything I wanted to put my mind to. So,
what about you, Amy?
Sorry about that. I was on mute. Yeah, I'm actually seeing a lot of these, the answer or the suggestions that everyone, and I agree with a lot of them. People are saying things like, I wish I would learn how to dance, or public speaking, or be confident. For me, honestly, I think the confidence piece, being more confident, is a piece of all of these, because if I didn't second guess myself, or people didn't second guess themselves, then they would be dancing, they would be public speaking, they would be standing up for themselves. But it's that little moment where you think about it and you're like, I could do this, but I'm too scared to do it, so I'm just not going to do it.
Let me tell you something. This is Confessions of a Confident Woman. Everyone's like, oh my God, you're so confident. You're so confident. I'm like, is that what you call this? Is that what you call this? What I am is I'm not going to miss the moment. I'm not going to lay in my bed with regret. I'm not. That's what confidence is to me. That's it. I'm not going to miss the moment. And you know what's crazy is that I'm a dancer. So to all you dancers out there, hit me up. I will get you on the dance floor, right? And what people don't understand is that you have these like line dances and everybody's getting up and everybody knows the move. And then you'll see someone who will, after a while, they'll go on and they'll like try to, do it with you and figure it out. And then you have people who will never leave the wall or the chair, right? And so what most people don't know is that I've learned just about every line dance on the floor. I've learned on the floor, but I'm doing it wrong and I'm having a good old time. I'm like, step to the left, oops, step to the right, oops, and it's letting go of this perception that you have to do it right. Do you know that the moment you leave the wall of the chair, you're an automatic hero? You're an automatic hero. The moment you write anything or do anything, you're an automatic hero. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe. And so in the section of confidence, I would say this: stop thinking about yourself and know that until one person gets on the dance floor, everyone else is waiting for permission. What if you were that person that just got on the dance floor and you just moved to the rhythm of your own beat? Wow, how exhilarating would that be?
How freeing, right? Just getting out of your head and the moment that you can accept that and just let it go, you experience life so much more fully, right?
Yes, it's let it go, can't hold back anymore, right? You gotta let
you sing. We'll let you sing.
But this is my thing, is it's there. You understand? It's there. I can see if it wasn't there. Mm-hmm. It's there. Your foot is tapping. Your head is moving. It's just, can we get up now? Can we get up now? That's it, right?
How do you instill the confidence early on so that we can close the gender gap and give the confidence? So that came from one of our audience members asking. What are your thoughts on that?
So my perspective of the gender gap is this: males have like a 400-year head start, right? So there will always be a gap, right? And so it's not about closing the gender gap per se. It's about standing up and being counted. That's really it. It's one woman getting on the dance floor, another woman getting on the dance floor, another woman getting on the dance floor. And you know how we do that? It's like Dorothy. It's saying, hey, I see you. Come with me. Let's do it together. Hey, I see you moving your leg. Come on over here. Let's do it together. We have an intention. I see you. Not every woman out there is willing to be brave, but I see you. Let's come together and let's get through this, because where I'm weak, you're strong. What I don't know, you know. What I'm not willing to do, you're willing to do. But we'll still get there together. And that's why it becomes a line dance. Everybody's moving together to get it accomplished. So if we stop focusing on getting promoted, getting ahead, doing this, and by yourself, this is what I want, then we'll actually get the gap closed, because we're standing up and being counted, and we're not having one woman trying to figure it out by herself. She's lining up with someone else and saying, oh, okay, that's where you do it. Because spending hours trying to figure out, okay, how? It'll take forever, because there's already a gap, right? So we have to connect. So that brings me to the second question is, how do you know when you have real connections with people? How do you know? How do you know when you have real connections with people? You know, if you do a Google search for secret to happiness, it brings up 7,500,000 results. Secret to happiness. And a 75-year Harvard study says that we should only focus on one thing. One thing. And you know what that is? Our relationships. It's our relationships. Because if you're hanging around yesterday people, expired people, which is, that's who I used to be. That's how I used to think. That's what I used to want. You'll never ever get where you want to go. If you just get in with these people, and you're like, I don't even like these people. Instead of looking over at making lateral moves. People who want to get right where you want to get, right? In acting, they always say, why are you always running up to the director? Everybody wants to get in with the director. The directors are in with other directors. You all need to get in with each other and create your own stuff. That's how. And instead of trying to kick Keisha down the stairs and get Julia fired, you may want to get together because you all have this drive and this intention. It's people. So how do you know that you have real connections with people?
I think they are great comments back here. Is talking about vulnerability, when you're able to be vulnerable with people. That also breaks down the walls, and you realize how much more connection you have as well. I think just talking about my own self, this year I've decided to be more vulnerable. That's been my key word. And I have met more people and more individuals that had commonality between the two because I opened up of my real life. And I think women today are so fearful of saying who we really are because we have to be perfect and we have to be put together, right? And the moment that you break it down, that's where the connections really thrive.
Yeah. What do you say, Amy?
I agree, absolutely. There's something to be said, like you said, the directors all have connections with other directors. So, start your own. I agree. And that really is what the Alliance is all about, is creating those connections of, as our board members always say, we're inclusive of everyone, and it doesn't matter your status or, if you're sleep level or death level or whatever it is, that the Alliance is here to make connections like that.
Yeah, some of the audience talks about, being comfortable to communicate freely, making eye contact, smiling when you're interested, and genuinely saying you're interested. So that's really cool to hear that, just saying that you're genuinely interested, and you can hear it from your soul that, yeah, really want to hear what people are saying.
There's
Yeah,
a really good one. There's one that says, women have been culturally tricked into treating one another as competition for decades rather than learning to mentor one another and realizing that when you celebrate and succeed with each other, we all win.
we all win. We all win. I think that when the crows were saying to the scarecrow, you can win, you can't break even, and you can't get out of the game. You know what they were really saying is, it's a bunch of us and one of you. It's a bunch of us. We're winning because you're out here trying to do it by yourself. It's only until you partner with someone else so that they're going to be able to get you down from here. And it's not us because we're crows. We're directors. we had to get our crew. You go get yours. We're trying to become the CEOs, right? So we have to partner with each other. Dorothy had an intention, and so it was when the scarecrow said, I have an intention too, that they were able to come together. That's it. And so you want these three things. You want a relationship with yourself, a relationship with your dream team, which means you have to know what your dream is to know who your team is. You have to know what your dream is to know who your team is. So relationship with yourself, your dream team, and your greater purpose. It has to be aligned with one purpose that it all comes down to, which is with the alliance, right? We want equality. We want collaboration, right? We want everyone to come together and make it all possible for everyone, right? That's why you're a part of this alliance. But we need a life alliance. We need a life alliance where people will be vulnerable enough to say, I want to do this. I want to do this. And what I always tell people is this. This is some nuggets. So get your pens out. Is that I have this thing I call the meal plan. And so you have your skillet, but it's SKILLIT, right? It's what are you skilled at? I wake up in the morning, a bird wakes up in the morning, is like, I fly. That's what I do. A fish wakes up and says, I swim. That's what I do. And when you know who you are, what you're skilled at, you know what environments best serve you. A bird is not a master in the water, and a fish is not a master in the air, right? So you got to skill it. You have to know what your skills are, and that's how you monetize. You should never have a money problem. You have a connection to your resources problem, and the only way to fix that is to skill it. And in doing that, you got to have your saucepan, right? Your saucepan is, what is that thing about you? You know, Natalie is a spicier meatball, right? You know, you got to have that kick. You got to want that flavor. And why am I so spicy? Because I love to act. I love to entertain. I love serving the community. I always do the things that I know add to who I am. So when you get a speaker, you don't just get a speaker. You get a speaker, because I take my skills and I put a little sauce on it, right? So it's, what is it that you are skilled at doing? What do you love doing? And you put it together. There's a book called Blue Ocean Strategy that talks about how the circus was on a decline, and Cirque du Soleil came in and revolutionized revolutionized the circus industry because they combined circus with theater. Boom. right? You're not supposed to put theater in the circus. Well, based upon their Cash App, you absolutely can, right? So it's taking those two things, but the most important thing, so that's really you, it's your team, your dream, what do you love, what are you passionate about, and how can you do it with other people, and your crock pot. This is the purpose, the greater purpose. And guess what? You don't just wake up tomorrow and become the CEO, and that book is not just done, and you're not just on the dance floor, and that it doesn't happen like that. The crock pot, you have to cook, you got to put it on, you got to put something in it, and you got to let it cook. And you got to keep checking on it to make sure you're doing what you need to do to make sure that it's going to get where it needs to go. Might take 5 years, might take 15 years, might take 40 years. But when you have a relentless desire to fulfill your greatest dreams, you're going to keep on doing your skills, adding sauce to your life, making sure you're doing those things you're passionate about, whether you make money or not from it, as your dream is being fulfilled. What say thee?
I think going back to the vulnerability, we had a great feedback on, vulnerability is such a great important thing to accomplish, especially for women. The fear, though, is how are you seen by men who don't share the vulnerability and perceive it as weakness? So how do we be vulnerable without being seen as weak?
So vulnerability and weak should never even be in the same conversation. And it's about, is it about their perception or is it about our perception of their perception? Is it what they're saying or what we think they're saying about what we're saying? And because we do that as women. Oh, girl, you look good. Do you sure? Are you sure? I said you look fine. But when it comes to vulnerability, guess what? Men are just as vulnerable as women. They are. Well, my husband won't talk to me. Yes, he will if you are a safe place. If you don't force what you have to say. See, there's a rhythm that men go to, and there's a rhythm that women go to. And what we have to do is learn how to dance together. So what my suggestion is that we have to have that alliance with men also. Because if we do this, women, remember they have the answers. So if you exclude them and just say, we're gonna charge, you'll never get there. You need the inside scoop. And take it from me, because I moved around as a child my whole life, okay? And I was always the new girl. And I was the one girl in the all guys crew, always. So the girls hated me because the boys liked me, right? But there was a friendship, there was an alliance. I was just chill. I wasn't trying to be anything. I was just chilling. I was learning, I was understanding how to be in their world. And so because I knew that, remember, they were the crows, there were more of them than me, I waited for them to ask me what I thought about the things that were going on in their world. And by doing that, they would tell me things that I needed to know to make me successful, right? And so the vulnerability is something that you have to show in a way that is authentic to you. It has to be authentic to you, but you can't force it on anybody. We have to know how to move to the rhythm instead of just going in and saying, no, I know this needs to be done. It might need to be done, but nobody asked you. So that balance between speaking up and knowing when to speak up. Because it's all about the timing. It's all about positioning and timing. And I always say that Rudolph, you know, they used to laugh and call him names, right? Weak, vulnerable, all that other stuff. They wouldn't let him play in any of the reindeer games. But there is a foggy Christmas Eve with his nose on it that took him straight to the front, right? So just chill. You got to chill.
When you talk about timing and chilling, and that leads to the next question is, what if you don't know what your dream is? How do you live through life? I mean, I know, especially people coming out and trying to figure out their career and what they're passionate about. And everyone says you need to be passionate about something or a hobby, but what if you don't know what your dream is? What do you do?
You connect to someone else's dream that you are passionate about. Everyone's not going to start this big old thing, but that's why it's called a dream team. If you're on the team, you get to wear the jersey, you get to go to the games, I don't care if you're handing out water. You might just be a giver, a server. We need towel people. We need water boys, water girls, right? It's about being on the team, because when we win the Super Bowl, because you were on the team, whether you played and got your head tore off every game, or whether you sat the bench most of the time, you're still a part of the team. So until you get clear on what it is that you want to do, partner with someone else to make their dream. Because remember, Dorothy got everyone what they wanted before she even got what she wanted.
That's a great saying. Be part of a dream team before you define what your dream is. Make sure you're on a dream team.
Yeah, but you can't do it by yourself. That's what's killing our confidence. That's what's causing us to stay stuck, is that we won't be vulnerable enough to be we're so used to being the top of the bottom that we won't be the bottom of the top. But if you stay in
that again, can you repeat that again? That is great.
We're so used to being the top of the bottom. You know, my mama say I could sing, right? We're so used to being the top of the bottom that we won't be the bottom of the top. We won't go to American Idol. We'll just stay there singing in mama's kitchen. You have to step out of the fishbowl into the pond. And then from the pond to the lake to the ocean. You have to. We went from elementary school, right? And we're the new kids on the block, to the seniors of high school. And then just like that, boom, you're the freshman in middle school. And then you work your way up, and then you're the seniors, and then boom. It's natural, but yet we won't do it. We're super seniors. We're super seniors. Get on a dream team. Stop being the top of the bottom and be the bottom of the top. Yep. And so that brings us to our final question. What are you doing when you are most yourself? What are you doing when you are most yourself? What kind of responses are we getting?
I think everyone's typing. I'm thinking about that last statement. I think one of the, just going back as they're typing and thinking about what they want to do, but navigating change as you are yourself and going through life. How do we navigate the change? One of the biggest things in our industry is acquisitions and aging workforce and technology coming in. How do you navigate that being yourself, right?
You have to be innovative, and you got to get ahead of the 8 ball. You have to anticipate what is next and be the answer. Don't be in a reactive state. You have to be plugged in, locked in, paying attention to what's going on. We're so focused on what's not happening with us. All of these distractions, politics in the office, all of these things that we can't really provoke any real change. So instead of being a part of the change that's happening, we have to react to the change that's happening. So anticipate, take all of these dreams and hopes, and I want to help people, right? I hear that all the time. It's very broad, right? I want to help what people do what, right? So there's singers that say, I want to heal people through my music, right? What is it that you want to do? And what is the vehicle in which you're going to do it through, right? So that you know what environment you need to be in, right? You're not saying, hey, I need to be promoted. You're saying, I see that you have this going on. Let me hold your bag. Because I like to help people do this to get that result. You know what I mean? So be used. Be used in a way that is useful. And that's how, so in regards to like acquisition and things like that, look, only thing constant in life is change. Look at the world that we're in right now. Look at the world that we're in right now. Only thing constant is change. But you know what will never change? What you're skilled at and what you're passionate about. And the fact that it's to serve a greater purpose. This virus does not stop what you have to contribute to this world, to this organization. It doesn't. You just have to find innovative ways to maintain your position in a constantly changing world. That's it. So it's less about change and it's more about knowing what I'm skilled at and what I'm passionate about, and pivot to stay in that flow based upon what's going on. That's it.
The common theme of all the comments are, when they feel most confident, they want to help people and they want to share their knowledge and they want to encourage resilience, authenticity, vulnerability, and storytelling. A lot of audience have daughters and children, so they want to raise them up to be strong women as well. So I think that's a common theme through everybody's comments right now.
It's good that you said that, Natalie, because a lot of the comments are saying that people are their most self, that they want to help other women grow, or they feel themselves when they're most helping, or whenever they're supporting other people, providing guidance.
And the problem with us is women is that we don't understand that in order to really be the type of woman that instills in their daughters and others this confident person who's able to conquer everything, is not to pretend that we are, but to become that part of us, that inner winner, connect with that inside of us that is true and authentic, because that's where our power truly is. It's about being in relationship with yourself first. Every time I get on a plane, they say, in the case of an emergency, in the case of change, in case we can't be together for a while, put the mask over yourself first. Put the mask over yourself first. We're not doing that. We're putting everything else in front of us and saying, I'm helping them and I'm helping them, I'm helping them, but you don't even truly know who you are and what you want. It's broad. You have to have a relationship with yourself that unleashes that inner winner inside of you, where you're 100% clear of who you truly are, what it is that is burning inside of you, and how to accomplish it, which will then tell you who you should be aligning yourself with. It's not the person you're the coolest with and you guys share the same birthday. No, it's someone who's supposed to be a part of your dream team, but you have to know what your dream is first. And you'll only know that if you spend time with yourself and put pressure on yourself to say, what is it? What is it? What is it? That you will activate your greater purpose, which is the thing that we're all, our crock pot that's cooking for us all to get to. But you'll never do that. You'll never get there without a team. And you'll never know where you're going if you don't take care of yourself first. And so in closing, the thing is, Dorothy went through all of these things. She was helping everyone else. She just wanted to get home. There's this thing that you just want. And she made sure that everybody else was good, only to find out that she had the slippers the whole time. I just want you to know that you have the slippers. But if you would just sit with yourself and question, well, what do these slippers do when I rub them? What do these slippers do? All she was told is don't take them off. Don't take them off. Why? What is it about these slippers? Then she would have, one, missed out on connecting with other people, right? But she would at least know what her power was, that yes, I absolutely can fulfill my purpose and my destiny, but I won't go at it alone. And so how do you find your personal power? You have relationship with yourself, you find your dream team, and you activate your greater purpose.
Wow. Thank you, Natalie. I hope that everyone has enjoyed this webinar this morning. The topics are amazing. The feedback, I think we can all learn from this on being vulnerable, being okay with yourself. I think you have to step back and take a few moments and figure out who you want to be and who you are. And then it just explodes from there. Amy, what do you think?
I agree, and I think what Natalie said, the thing that she said about putting on your own mask first before helping others. So it's so ironic because all of us, when we say when are we the most happiest, we're the happiest when we're helping others, but are we taking care of ourselves first and then helping others? Because how are we going to find our dream if we're not going to do that?
Well, we have a few more minutes to go. Does anyone have any other comments, questions? We have about 5 minutes.
We want to make sure we get your questions answered.
Well, thank you again, Natalie, and thank everybody. On behalf of the Alliance, we appreciate all the time you spent with us this morning. We'll be posting this webinar up on our website later today for you to share with others. And feel free to email us with any additional questions. And thank you all again. You guys have a great day.
Oh,
Natalie.
You can follow me at nataliefikes.com. If you have any questions that I didn't get to answer, please email me at info@nataliefikes.com. And if you reach out, I'll send you the 8 things that you're doing this that's stopping you from living the life you want, a PDF. I'll send it out to the Alliance so that they can send it to everyone. But I'm a real person. You reach out and you ask what you need, and have a great day. Thanks for taking this time out today.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Natalie, thank you.
Thanks, Natalie. Thanks, Amy.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.